Wonderful people, wonderful people. Blessing, and how are you today? Sometimes we ask the question, what am I doing here? What is my life all about? What is the purpose of our life in this journey in life? And we go through trouble, trials, tribulations, hard times, good times, sometimes very good times, and then we look back and look around and say, what have I accomplished? What have I done that is so special? And then look back and say, nothing. And I'm quite sure that others have done this also. Like, and I want to ask you a question. You ever thought about why you're here? What's your purpose in life? What's this? What's that? And the creation of life, even that? And are you enjoying some of the things that we're supposed to be enjoying? Are we suffering and going through some trials and suffering that it doesn't feel like we have accomplished anything? What's the value of it? Well, anyway, I'm Brother Michael Jones, speaker of the gospel, life coach, intercessor, and writer of short inspirational reads. So today, I just want to ask a question and just to expound on a few things of value and why I'm here. And this thing that we're talking about today is that it happens like so suddenly, but it's not really a sudden thing because it's a life journey. And a life journey takes many turns and many uh, trials and uphills and downhills and all that other stuff. But one of the things that I want to touch on is that in my journey in life, with an educational system, trying to go to college, come to find out that the educational system from where I educated from was less than standard or less than what we expected. Finding out that I only had eighth grade education at graduation. Wow, that was devastating in the turn. And in fact, then I had problems in the place where I was living at the time because I had to move to live with my mother and new stepfather. Couldn't get a job because jobs wasn't that available at the time. This was like in Detroit a while ago. Okay, so anyway, now I had to adjust to a new surrounding. Living with my grandparents in the South, but now I'm in Detroit, Michigan, big time city, and all of the splendor and good things that's happening here. Couldn't get a job. But in the meantime, I was drawing my father's Social Security because he got killed and everything. So I was still, uh, how you call it, underage, a teenage, yeah, a child more or less. But really wasn't a child because I was in the late teens. So anyway, I'm drinking. Next thing I know, I'm an alcoholic. All my little money that I got from Social Security went into liquor. And I had drinking partners. So after that, going to service. So it was a wonderful thing going into service. They did a background check and I got clearances like, wow, up the yang yang and all good stuff. Training, yes. So after training, after clearances and a job that was out of sight, inventory control of aircraft parts, other parts, and different things, cataloging things. Like at the time, just before the computerized system, we used to have cards, the little IBM cards. I don't know if any of you remember those or not, but that's what we had taking place in the day. Anyway, now I get out of service. Now, while I was in service, I still had this drinking problem, which went through 18, 19 years old, drinking like a fish, but doing my job, learning things, doing things. Get out of the service. Now I'm experiencing grown up thing for real now, you know what I mean? So anyway, I'm experiencing these grown up things. Still can't go to school, still don't want to go to school, but there's something about life that edges you towards doing better. Still couldn't get a job. So anyway, I went to live with my mother in another city, another state from Detroit, went to the East Coast, and where they had most of these factories and most of the companies that I was dealing with in the service, Sikorsky's, APCO, Pratt and Whitney, ones, right? All these companies that's in the area, Olin, making equipment for surveillances and all that kind of stuff, right? Now, I couldn't get a job because of, I don't know if I was just because I was minority or what, but the job that I would be qualified for would be similar to a white collar job or upper upper management type, or not an upper management, but even a management position. Couldn't get a job. Then the, how you say, bad things kept happening. Life goes on. Then I'm a dishwasher. Wow. All of this still coming to be a dishwasher. So you don't feel too bad about being a dishwasher because it brought some money in. You had money in your hand, money in your pocket to go out and buy you some more liquor and stuff like that. Then I'm discovering other addictions, other habits, like drugs. Wow. Now it's like a fascination for sex and lust. All of this stuff was still piling up on me. But I've been making enough money because I'm living with my mother again, and I didn't have to worry too much about paying the rent because the rent was really reasonable at the time. I didn't have to worry about maintaining myself because I was in that position whereas I didn't like to dress fancy and all this stuff, so I didn't have to spend money on clothes. Ate and housing was there. So now, come to find out, I'm in love. Come to find out, I'm going through girlfriends like going through water. But I'm holding on to girlfriends. If I didn't have 5 girlfriends at the time, I didn't have one. So now I'm a lover boy. I'm a this and I'm a that. And my mind is occupied by drinking, drugs, and sex. So what am I accomplishing? Nothing. So then an opportunity came about. Now we have an opportunity to go to school to be a cook or a chef. Okay, 3 years now out of my life. But it was a good 3 years because I'm still doing part-time work and everything. And I didn't have to worry about maintaining, like I said, because I'm living with my mother and stepfather. So I go to school, become a chef, and now I'm working at country clubs. I'm working in big time hotels, big time restaurants, fancy restaurants in Lower Fairfield County, which Westport, then into New York, Westchester County, fabulous places. Whereas weekends was like where people come up to Connecticut, spend the weekend. They had the summer homes, and people would spend time in that summer home because they would go out on the beach and not too far from the beach area. And this is like fancy, fancy, fancy. So I'm used to doing this fancy stuff and decoration and food, and it was just a wonderful thing. And I could see that. Then the bottom crashes out. After a while, I'm not working anymore. But before the bottom crashed out, I even started my own catering business. Yes, catering. I was catering in Lower Fairfield County, different places. Like I say, I'm working through the weekdays, weekends. I would go out and cater, do a wedding, and sometime birthday parties, different ones, different things. And I'm making money. I mean, I was making money. My own catering business, off-premise catering, even have a name in the yellow pages. Yes. Call me. So anyway, I had some experience of meeting wonderful people. And some of the wonderful people that I met and I cooked for, like Betty Davis and the actress David Susskind, which I burnt his food one night. He was doing a party, a dinner party, and I messed up his food, but I recovered it. It was an experience. It was really an experience how this man was on TV. He had his own like a talk show, David Letterman type thing, and he would bring in entertainments on the show. All right, now he's doing a dinner party. Must have been about 30 people there for the dinner party, and I'm in there drinking and playing around with the waitresses because they were like college young ladies coming in to work for the summer for different ones, and they would come over there and waitress doing different things. I had another gentleman that was doing the bartending that helped me, that really asked me to got the job for me, right? Anyway, I'm there drinking, flirting, food burning, but it recovered because inspiration and imagination counts a lot when you mess up, especially when you on the chopping board block and everything. But anyway, it came through. Now, I started working for Bloomingdale's. And after that, I'm still catering. I'm still doing things. I started to live in a place called the Village. It's in suburbs, uh, how we say in the ghetto, not really the ghetto, but the projects they call it, right? I'm making quiche Lorraine and selling quiche Lorraine to the people at the Bloomingdale store that make quiche Lorraine to sell, but I'm selling it to all of my co-workers because my quiche was out of sight. And we had to use the recipe for Bloomingdale, and it wasn't that good, but mine was better. So improvement, always, I'm seeking always to do things better. Because one of the things that we did learn in my school that I only got an eighth grade education from was that not to equal, but to excel. Don't be like everybody else, but try to do better. Try to do the best you can at what you got and what you're doing. Make it improve on whatever you're trying to do. And that was my motto. It carries me even today. Not to equal, but to excel. Not to hold yourself above anybody, but always do better. So anyway, now, come to find out that I'm losing my catering job. I lost my jobs at the restaurants and hotels because I couldn't cut it. Things would happen because drugs and alcohol, no joke. And then you don't have the money because you're out there with all of your girlfriends now that demand so much. So I go to a place, they gave me another job, finally found a job working in not a nursing home, but a retirement resident. Right. This job was awesome. Awesome. It's like going to school to become a chef. Now I'm really a chef in charge of a large facility, making big money. Even though I was still a functioning addicted person, a functioning alcoholic, a functioning drug addict, getting to work on time but overworking. That means that working was no problem because I needed the money. My drug habit started being like $300 a week, even though I was making $600, sometime more. So sometime my drug habit was like not only 300, but my whole paycheck sometime. This is what can happen when you let things get out of hand. And it came to a place where I had to buy $5 sometime for gas to get to work. And here I am bringing home five and $600 a week. And back in those days, 40,000 a year was like being rich. I'm telling you, rich. And still, I'm having this credit card debts. Not paying any attention to credit, not paying any attention to anything but my needs. So after a while, they hired somebody to come in, and that person was over me. What? Wait a minute. What's going on here? Some young lady, supposed to be all high and mighty, this and that and the other, knowledgeable, college graduate rate, this, okay? Now, in charge of a whole food establishment, the whole food thing, right? I thought I was, but I'm not. I'm just a cook now. So it happens that one day I got called in the office and told me that I don't work anymore. I was devastated. Like, what? I don't work there anymore. What happened? What did I do now? Well, you didn't do this, you didn't do that, you didn't do that. Many of things. I mean, many of things. Well, you can't fire me because you have never given me a write up. I don't have any type of documentation of doing anything. This lady pulls out her little pad and wrote down three documentations. Here, you document it by, and you have to leave the premises now. I'm trying to call the manager. Manager not answering. So this was in cahoots, I guess, but everybody is a setup. So now it's like I gotta leave the place, can't go to my locker to get my stuff out of the locker. So I don't know. Question: have they seen me doing drugs? I'm taking care of all of the inventory and stuff. I buy liquor here and I don't drink on the job. But what is going on? Come to find out, one of the staff there was talking, and they were talking about how I was not being flirted, but it was like we was together, right? How can you molest somebody or just do something bad to someone when they are going along with what you are doing? I was using the place, not like a hotel, but it was mis unappropriate behavior. All it is to it. Excuse me. So now, this unappropriate behavior, and then I'm still doing drugs. I'm still having this issue. So I always came to work on time, left late because I'm doing work, I'm doing work, I'm doing work, making sure everything's done right. Come to find out, I was terminated, devastated again. And as they always say, at the bottom of the barrel, call Jesus. Because I was out of work for over 2 years. And during the time I was out of work for 2 years, there was no income except for my pay that you get when you get unemployment benefits, which was pretty good because the money I was making. But I still had a problem. Now I go to church. And going to church, someone asked me about helping out at a soup kitchen. Why not? I'm not working. I couldn't get a job at the fast food restaurant. No one would hire me. But in the meantime, it was like things are still maintaining, the mortgage still got paid, bills were paid, but I didn't have too much money left because doing a little struggle here and there and hustle here and there wasn't hitting it because I'm used to money. I'm used to big money in my pocket at all time, but it wasn't there. So now, after going through the situation about working at a no visiting a soup kitchen because I never really visited, didn't know what a soup kitchen was all about in my days of out there doing these jobs, catering and living around, doing drugs and stuff. Didn't know that people that I was selling drugs to was going to the soup kitchen to eat and bringing money to the drug dealers because that's the money they get. I didn't know anything about they were getting that little money on a monthly basis or whatever and bringing it to the drug dealers to get high with. Here I am now in a situation whereas I'm at the soup kitchen. Now I'm observing these things. Next thing I know, they asked me if I wanted a job there because after being out of work for almost 2 years and not being able to do any work at all, I have jumped at it. Yes, I'm getting it. So anyway, I'm cooking, making soup. Wow. Here I am. All of the fancy dishes that you could think of, different cultures, French, German, British, some Spanish, nice dish, Mediterranean dishes, ice carving, sculptures, all of this stuff I'm doing. Competing at food shows, making items, dishes, winning trophies, and all type of documentation and rewards coming about. I had an opportunity to go on not to go on, but to support the American cooking team that was in Germany at the time. I think it was in '84 that my chef manager there, was on part of the team, American team, and everybody that was associated with the restaurants that these chefs worked out of was a part of the American team. A lot of people, but that's all right. But since we was a part of the team, which the Americans came in fourth out of maybe 30 teams. Yes. So we had to practice. We had stayed up sometime all night going through drills, going through these practice dishes, making dishes so that when they got to Germany, they knew what they was doing. They was in there. The team leaders and all the places from the top restaurants was representing the Americans. Anyway, now I'm at the soup kitchen making soup, which was okay. I'm like, I'm beneath my standards there. What is going on? Why am I here making soup when I should be at some country club making beef Wellington or doing an ice sculpture or something like that? But I accept it because it's a job, making not even a tenth of what I'm used to making. But it was enough to pay the bills, legitimate money that was coming in. So after a while, one day, and this is why I come in to say that sometimes our rewards are not just the going through college, having all these different degrees. Our rewards are not just having a wonderful big job sometimes. Our reward sometimes is not just making an investment and having a windfall. Oh, I accomplished something this way and that way. My rewards, and I can only speak for me, was one day I made potato soup, of all things, potato soup. And a gentleman that was coming through the line, and he started to taste the soup as he was going through the line. And when he got to the end of the line, this man stopped and he started crying. He was from one of the countries, Baltic country, it was Poland. This man was like an alcoholic, but he's out there, homeless. Here it is in the soup kitchen, and he's standing over there crying, older guy. Why are you crying? So the managers came up, want to know what's wrong, what's the matter. So he was saying about the food. Oh Lord, now I'm really frightened. I'm like, what's going on? What? I thought I cooked the food right. I didn't put anything in it that hurt anybody. Anything. So anyway, This man started crying. He said, it's good. It's good. Right? And then he said, he tastes like mommy. It hit me. It hit me so hard that I almost started crying because all of that work, the accomplishments of going to military, traveling the world, being an inventory control specialist, they call it, having a top secret clearance, all of this good stuff, and knowing that uh, agents came to your hometown in the country and asked about you and going through high school and stuff. All of that accomplishment about down in the bad part of life, drinking, drugging, and chasing after women, married, single, or any other way. I was there doing it. And that's why in relationship, when people say, oh, you're not qualified to talk about relationship, why not? I have experienced more in relationship than most relationship coaches could ever even think about. Because out of all of those years and all of those different personalities I've gone through, been through, toxic relationship, good relationship, negatives, big time failures, big time winners. When you get a woman that on her bedside, her last days, calling for you to come by, she want to see you, and you don't go, and you hurt her heart big time. Yes, I know about broken hearts, and you don't think about the thing till after she's gone. But now you're in a place whereas somebody touched your heart by giving you a compliment that you did something to remind them of their mother a long, long time ago, somewhere in this world. This man, as a child, enjoyed his mother's cooking. And now he's in a foreign country, being homeless and an alcoholic, lining the streets, sometimes not knowing who he was, but tasting his mama's cooking brought life to me. That, my friend, was an unexpected reward because now I know that there's a meaning and a purpose for each one of us, maybe unseen, but as we travel through life, we will see things and experience things that might touch our hearts even the more. Thank you for being with us. Be blessed, be blessed, be blessed.